by the way, we're going to forget to mention it, but heavy spoilers for Raya and the
So
Last
many
Dragon.
spoilers.
So, yeah. Welcome to another episode of Casual Cinephilia, where enthusiastic amateurs talk very passionately about movies. I'm Ian.
I'm Lorian, and today we are talking about Raya and the Last Dragon.
Which is a delightful movie. I enjoyed every moment of this movie.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah.
And worth the $30. I mean, I don't want to say that out loud because on the very far off chance Disney hears me, I don't want to encourage this behavior. I'm offended by it. It
Yeah.
might be worth it for a family of 5, but I'm a single adult. I don't want to pay $30 to see a children's movie. I mean, I'm going to for this podcast, and because I do genuinely love Disney movies, but like, offended.
Right.
And also, and I know this is me being paranoid and not an actual plot, but Disney released 4 new movies direct to Disney Plus this year. They did Onward, male-driven fantasy, released straight to the platform for only the price of subscription. Mulan, Asian female-led live action, released with a subscription and an additional fee. Soul, male-led movie, released to the platform with only subscription. Raya, Asian female-led movie with an additional fee. It feels targeted.
I thought that exact same thing. The only counter I have to that is that
Pixar makes 2 of them and Disney did the other 2.
Yes, I think Pixar might have put their foot down and said, no, you're not going to charge a premium for ours. Like, you can do it on your Disney animated studios things, but you're not going to put ours behind a pay gate.
Yeah. I just hate how it ended up working out, though.
Yeah. No, it looks very targeted. It genuinely does. But tinfoil hat conspiracies behind us.
Yeah, right. The fact that Disney did a bad thing for money, it shouldn't be news.
Right.
So, the movie itself was really good. I even took notes on this one.
Hey.
It's been so long since we watched, like, a new release movie.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. No, I really had to step back and absorb this movie, too, because now, I don't want to put it on the same level as Avatar, The Last Airbender, because that show has such a long build-up in its character development and its world development.
Right.
But, like, if a series was made in this world, oh my gosh, I would watch the shit out of it because it reminded me so much of the feel of Avatar. Whereas
I get that. Yeah.
It was just a blend of so many beautiful Asian, like, cultures and architecture and stylization, and it was just seeing them interact with each other, and it was just so cool to watch, and it was so unique. I know I'm really saying it's unique after saying it's very similar to Avatar, but you get what I'm saying in that that's not a very common thing. So
I really wish this had been out when I was a kid, because my favorite Disney movie as a kid was Aladdin. I like, in the way that, once again, not to get political here, as I'm sure some people will read this, as many women have done, you learn to relate to characters that don't actually reflect you in any way. And Aladdin was the Disney character that I related most to, not any of the princesses.
Yeah.
And this movie really, really fit into that niche for me.
Yeah.
Like, this was a remade. It wasn't anything like an Aladdin character. They're very different character archetypes. But that it fit into that little hole in my heart. It's like, oh my god, this movie. I love it. It was made for little Lorian.
Little inner Lorian. No,
little inner Lorian.
I really loved the archetypes that they used for their characters because they were very like each and every character was a very gender neutral archetype. Like there wasn't a
Yeah.
princess, there wasn't a prince, there wasn't a male warrior or a female. Like
Yeah.
everything, every character could have been played by any gender, and it wouldn't
Yeah.
have changed anything about the character. And they did a really good job of just you could relate with every single character. It was
Mhm.
really well done.
Including Tuk Tuk. Thanks
Who
once again to Alan Tudyk.
he trained at Juilliard.
I really appreciate Disney's use of Alan Tudyk recently.
Oh my gosh. That man is a gem. He is
True.
to voiceovers as Doug Jones is to monsters.
You hear a stupid animal that could have been generated by a keyboard? It's probably Alan Tudyk.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a tie for me between Little Noi and her crew of con monkeys and Tuk Tuk as my favorite characters in this movie.
There were so many good characters. That's all.
Oh my
That
god.
was the whole story.
Well, and have you seen the cast list? It is
It's
amazing.
insane.
Yeah. So it's got Kelly Marie Tran, Aquafina, Isaac Wang, Gemma Chan, Benedict Wong, which I love Benedict Wong. It's got Daniel Day Kim, Sandra Oh,
Yeah.
like Lucille
Yeah.
Sung, and then Alan Tudyk. But like,
always
but,
the odd man out.
like this cast is amazing. And honestly, like now I don't want to get too political, but I feel like this was kind of Disney's apology to Kelly Marie Tran for her treatment
Sure.
in Last Jedi, or not Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, where she just got shoved to the side, you know?
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
she, I don't know, she's such a great actress, and she just got dragged through the mud because of Star Wars, and I felt so bad for her, and she was so good in this movie. I'm so glad that she was able to get this. Ugh.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say besides yes. This whole cast was just, I mean, the performances for Disney movies are almost always impeccable.
Mhm.
Their directors just know how to work with voice acting, which shouldn't be a surprise,
Right.
but it always is.
Yeah.
It's always shocking how much dimension they're able to get into their characters.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of characters in this. Well, not a lot. There's 5 characters that are non-vocal. You know, there's Tuk Tuk, there's Little Noi, and then the 3 con monkeys. And well, I guess Little Noi's a con baby as well, which that was the funniest thing. She's a con baby. But the fact that there are literally 5 characters, 50% of the cast are non-vocal characters, and it works. So like not only is the voice direction spot on, but the actual direction of the film, who directed this? Dan Hall, Carlos Lopez Estrada, and Paul Briggs, and John Ripa. Wow, there's a lot of directors. They just
usually are for the animated ones.
That's true. It just was killer.
Yeah.
Like just every scene. Like there's the old saying from oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on his name. Directed 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Stanley Kubrick.
There we go, Stanley Kubrick, where every frame needs to be a painting. Every frame is a painting. This movie, every single frame is gorgeous. Yeah, every single frame.
Really was. I recently got a new laptop, so my graphics have suddenly gotten a lot better in general. But like, I was watching this, and I was like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" It literally looks like B-roll footage of the real world in some shots.
Yeah.
The detail they put into her costume and all of the like textile animation in general was like you could pull embroidery patterns right off the screen and actually do them.
Well, and that's what was fascinating to me, was especially with Raya's costume,
I
was
want to make her cloak so bad.
yeah, like with Raya's costume, I am like dumb when it comes to costuming. I'm more in the ooh that looks pretty, ooh that doesn't. But like with the way her costume was animated and designed, I knew exactly
Mm-hmm.
how it was crafted. You could see the stitch
Mm-hmm.
marks. You can see where it was held together. You could see why
Yeah.
that her belt line was where it was, because it held the sword sheath in like a specific position so she could reach it better. Like everything
Right.
made sense. And it was just
Yeah, the
so
character
cool.
designers did a really good job actually costuming. And I don't know what Disney's setup over there is. I don't know if they have like a costume consultant that goes over their stuff. Literally no idea. But
Mm,
yeah, these clothes looked like actual clothes. A lot of times when you're translating an animated costume, you have to make a lot of concessions because there's not a lot of reality to the way that clothing is drawn oftentimes. It's given a lot more volume than the texture that they've put on it could possibly hold, or it's given no closures whatsoever
yeah.
that you need to be able to get into. So you have to, but this costume I could sew up exactly as animated. It just makes sense.
Well, and
And clothes.
I think the number one reason why they're able to do that was because for an animated film, this has some of the most realistic choreography for fight choreography that I've
Mm-hmm.
seen in a long time. The sword fights, there
Yeah, it
wasn't
was
a
so
one that
pretty.
I felt was over the top. Everything was, it felt like a watching Ip Man or
Mm-hmm. The
uh
physics were just so right on.
yeah. And so I the costumes didn't have to adapt to unrealistic movements because all of the
Sure.
movements were incredibly realistic.
Yeah.
I can't wait till they release a behind the scenes on this. I want to see the mocap, you know,
Yeah,
like how the
seriously.
heck they did that.
Gosh. Yeah, there's one shot. There's one there was one I think it was the fight right before the end between the two princesses because there are actually princesses in this film. They're just not very gendered
Yeah.
as characters. Um
Well, and
and
it's not a plot point either that they're
no,
princesses.
no, it's not.
They just happen to be.
Um,
Yeah.
but there was one kick that I was like, oh my god, this is so well animated. Martial arts and martial artists have so much muscle control that they can like stop their incredibly powerful kicks. And there was a kick that was just like so precise. You know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. I
Mhm.
can't describe it very well. But
Yeah.
I saw that I was like, oh my goodness, what's happening?
Yeah.
This is clearly a cartoon, but the physics of that were so real, and it's such a move that's like so on the edge of human ability. Like it takes so much muscle control and ability to be able to execute a move like that for a real person that it would have been really easy to make it look unrealistic, even though it's a real move, which is the problem I had with the Cats movie, incidentally. This did the opposite of what Cats did. Cats took real motion and made it look artificial. This movie took animated artificial motion and made it look incredibly realistic.
Yeah, well, and if you're talking about the kick that I think you're talking about, that where the amount of power and pressure behind it to instantly be locked in,
Right.
uh, that's one of those things where you see a real martial arts professional do it, and you're like, nah, that's not real. Like that looks
Right.
fake. When
Exactly.
you see it with your own eyes, a real person doing it, you know?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And so the fact that they matched it and then also made it believable is
Mm-hmm.
just beyond impressive. Uh
Yes, this was a very pretty movie.
yes. I loved
And
that
it had little butterfly mice, Ian.
It had what?
Butterfly mice.
Oh, yeah. I I loved the world because
Mm-hmm.
it was a realistic take on cartoon fantasy. Because there
Yeah.
was like like the politics and the infrastructure and the like the build of each of the, four or five nations, the five nations, was
Mm-hmm.
very realistic. And yet there's a giant rolling armadillo. There's con monkeys. There's
Right.
what the
Right.
booty blast beetles or whatever, like that
Yep. Yep.
blast into neon color. Like it felt so grounded and yet whimsical at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. And at this point, Disney is just showing off with their water.
Yeah. Seriously.
There's a moment. Oh, and by the way, spoilers. uh,
Yeah.
if you
Sorry.
if you listen to this podcast, there's spoilers. But
You
spoilers,
should probably go back and put a little warning in at the beginning because
yeah.
this one's so new.
Anyways, there's a scene towards the very beginning where Raya's father, Benja, gets taken
Uh-huh.
by the Dern or whatever they're called. The uh, I can't remember the Dern something. The bad guys, the
Sure.
evil,
The bad guys.
and
The purple.
yeah, the purple things, and she's got the chunk of the gem that's just been destroyed, and she gets thrown
Mhm.
into the water. The subsurface scattering of the gem under the water was real. Like that's how
Yeah.
it looks. And like if you would have just shown me that clip of her floating down the water where you can't see much detail on her, but you can see the movement of the glowing gem that's 6 to 8 inches
Mm.
under the water, diffusing the light and slowly getting diffused into the distance of the water. Just seeing that clip, I would have believed it was real. Like if you would have told me it
Mm.
was real, I would have believed you.
Yeah.
Just the water is so beautiful in this. It is so perfectly rendered that the moments where it does incredibly unrealistic things like flowing back upstairs or uphill,
Right.
it like makes your brain kind of do a kind of thing because it looks so real that it shouldn't be doing that, you know? Like
Right.
it literally made my brain kind of have a shiver trying to comprehend it. It was so
Yeah.
cool. It made me want to like start to learn animation. Honestly,
Right.
like
Uh,
I want to learn how to do that.
it's very cool.
Yeah. Uh, this movie is just just beautiful in every aspect.
Mm.
And I think the theme of the movie
Yeah.
is strangely poignant right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the whole premise of the movie is trust. Like the reason like the world in Raya is falling apart is because no one trusts each other. Like no one even has basic trust, and
Right.
each nation has rumors and stereotypes of the other four nations, and it just slowly erodes their relationship until it leads to war and
Right.
world destruction essentially. And I don't know that one felt pretty on the nose for how the world feels right now. Even how just the United States feels
Yeah.
internally right now. Like people on the left don't trust the people on the right, and the people on the right don't trust the people on the left, and the people in the middle don't trust any of them. And so it's just there's so much distrust everywhere right now. And I don't know,
Yeah.
this movie kind of hit some pretty rough emotional points right now. I
Yeah,
felt.
it goes into not only trust but trustworthiness.
Yes.
So the problem isn't only that people aren't trusting each other; it's that they're taking their distrust and turning it into a lack of trustworthiness. They're acting in a non-trustworthy way because they don't have trust, and that's a very complex problem for a children's movie to handle.
Yeah, and I felt they handled it really well
Yeah, I agree.
because
It was
yeah,
very close to home, though.
the fact that the main character Raya
Uh-huh.
essentially with her distrust kills the last dragon,
Right.
and so it's just I don't know, just the fact that it's the main character that does that. And in reality, really, both Raya and what's her name? Namari are both kind of the main characters in this.
Sure.
Namari less so, but still a secondary main character.
Sure.
I don't know. I just felt like it was a
She's the
very
Zuko.
yes, she is the Zuko. But yeah, it's just really well done in its thematic element as well.
Mm-hmm.
Damn Disney, why you got to be evil and put it behind a money paywall?
Seriously. I mean, it will be released to the service subscription only, and
yeah.
it is supposed to be in some theaters. It is sure not in any other theaters that are starting to open near us.
No, not
So,
gonna lie though, if it does a re-release and it's on IMAX, I would watch it in
mm,
IMAX
yeah,
because not
it's
only
gorgeous.
not only would it be gorgeous to watch, but like the soundtrack, the
Mm,
sound design of this movie were just spot on.
yeah.
And it would be great to hear them in a professional, heavy duty theatrical sound system.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have to say
Uh,
though, I want a armadillo pillbug horse thing. Tuk Tuk
yeah,
is amazing.
yeah. Tuk Tuk is amazing. I like how small he was at the beginning.
Yeah, little baby Tuk
He was
Tuk.
so cute. Speaking of the beginning, the movie is introed with an almost paper cut sort of style. That was really cool. Like all the background exposition on the world. It's done in a
Yes.
different art style. And they kept bringing that concept, not the same art style, back throughout the film. There was a section that was almost into the Spider-Verse at one point.
Oh,
And I
when it
can't
was
remember what the
introducing the different nations, or is it when they were
maybe
when they were doing the
Planet of
planning?
the Yeah, I think that section. There were a lot of fun, like breaking the style for exposition moments
Mm-hmm.
that were good.
Yeah. No, I think the planning the assault was one of my favorite sequences with the kid just treating it like an action movie kind of thing. It's like I'll take out
Yeah,
the first wave.
he
um,
was fun.
he was well, and there the thing that got me was that this was a kids movie, and I know it's a Disney movie, so they get dark very easily, very quickly. But
Sure.
like the thing that brought all these characters together was their loss, and I don't know, it was just so interesting just seeing the how each character handled it differently.
Right.
Whereas like the kid, what's his name? I'm totally Boone. Like he just continued on making sure that the business kept running, and I just loved his cooking style, which was amazing. It was like Benihana's.
Yes.
But then like you find out that he lost his like whole family, and then
Mm,
you see little Noi, and at first they're antagonists, but by the end you've like there's a moment it's like why are you like this, and they just kind of go off, but then one of the monkeys just does that hand
Mm-hmm.
symbol of what the stone statues do when they get taken. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh God,
Yeah. Whoops.
like
Oh
that
no.
that hurt. And then when you find out that Benedict Wong character's Tong, like you find
Uh-huh.
out that his entire village was turned.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that broke my heart. Ah,
Yeah.
like I
It
don't
had
even
some
go ahead.
moments, all right. It had some moments, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I just I I love every ounce of this movie. And the fact that in the end, like the heroes win by losing. Like
Right.
they they get taken by the evil stuff.
Right.
And I was not expecting them to go that route. Like that was a really powerful ending.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, I
And then
can't.
all the dragons, they're so colorful. And
Oh,
they're everywhere.
that's something that I feel has been lacking is Eastern perceptions of dragons. I think
Mhm.
we've been kind of overwhelmed with Western, with The Hobbit, Game of Thrones, video games like
Swords of
Dragon
Sorcery and
Age,
stuff.
stuff like that, where it's the wyvern style, and they're
Yeah.
always malevolent. They're bad
Mhm.
guys. I
They're greedy, wicked things.
yeah, I really am. I've always been interested in the Eastern like perception of dragons, where they're not benevolent. They're usually
Sure.
mischievous, but they're not evil. And
Right.
for the most part, like if you treat them with respect, they treat you with respect, kind of thing. And they're a, a part of nature, usually
Right.
supernatural, but they're a part of the circle of life. And it was just
Right.
really cool seeing a movie really do a good job of representing, Eastern style dragons. And plus the way they fly by
Mm-hmm. So
galloping on
cool.
magic, like that's so stinking cool.
And I'm really enjoying this trend towards credit art as epilogue.
Yes.
It's nice.
Yeah. It really is. So is there anything else you want to talk about Raya and the Last Dragon?
Not really. If you have the means to see it, I recommend it. Definitely see it when it's out on Disney Plus. I'm sure there are free trials if you don't have the service normally. There usually are.
Mm-hmm.
Or find a friend. Like see it when it comes out. See it when you're able to access it. Very
Yes.
good.
Very good. Uh I'm pretty sure I've said Raya 4 different ways now. Raya,
Great.
Raya, Raya, yeah, Raya.
Mhm.
But I love this movie. And honestly, I'm so glad that I got to see it. It still kind of irks me that it was behind a premium paywall on top of a
Right.
subscription, but
Right.
I would have gladly paid $30 to see this in theaters. Because I mean, if me and Rachel were going out, it would have been at least $20 just tickets, and
Sure.
then 15 to $20 for popcorn and drinks. So I
Sure,
mean,
but you
that's
also have to pay for whatever popcorn and drinks you had while watching this.
yeah, yeah. But
It's an absurd purchase price,
it
but
really
this is
is.
a very
All that being said, it was worth it. I felt. I
sure.
don't want this to be a pattern, but
No,
for this movie in particular, it was worth it.
sure.
All
Yeah.
right. So, do we want to talk about what our next movie is?
Our next movie has been oft requested, apparently. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and tell you straight up I'm not doing my homework for this one, but we're going to be talking about the Snyder Cut of Justice League, right?
Yes, we are. Which I'm actually kind of looking forward to because I will be going in as someone who's seen the previous Batman versus all the DC movies and the original Justice League. And you will be
Sure.
going in having not seen much to any of them. I think you've seen what? Shazam and Wonder Woman?
Yeah, that's the ones. Just Shazam and Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Which,
I have never seen Cavill. Since he got cast, I haven't been paying attention. Not because of him. It's just an easy benchmark.
yeah.
So I know nothing.
Gotcha.
Nothing.
Well, you will have the critical blind eye test. You'll be the blind
I'll be
test.
talking about the filmmaking of this
Yes.
instead of anything to do with anything.
So I will be curious what your opinion is of it. Because
Great.
my opinion will be diluted because whether it is better or worse than the original cut. So
Sure.
we'll find out.
So if you want to hear both sides of that mess, come on back.
And some good news.
Yeah.
Lorian and I, and soon to be our whole households, both sides, will be vaccinated. So we are actually going to be resuming in-person recording. And that
Y'all
means
get used to
we...
your ears not bleeding again.
Yeah! So Lorian will be coming back over and we'll have good quality audio on both sides. We won't be telecommuting. But that also means that we will be starting our Harry Potter Hollapalooza
Hooray!
watch-a-thon. So look forward to that coming in the next month or so.
Start giving you more info on that as we gather our plans together, but we're planning sort of an event around it, so very excited.
Look forward to that in the coming weeks. So yeah, I think it's time to thank our patrons.
Jenny, Jake, Pam, and Graham.
You guys are awesome.
Graham.
Jenny, Jake, Pam,
Yes,
and Graham.
thank you so much.
So without you, none of this would be possible. And we're looking forward to where we can go from here with in-person recording again. Woohoo!
Hooray!
And with that, this has been another episode of Casual Cinephilia. Thank you for joining us.
Bye!